69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders.
Do what?
Oh. Am I on? Did we already hit the intro?
No, not yet. Here we go.
Do it.
Subject for today.
Yeah, glad to be with you.
A couple seconds earlier would have caught you with your pants.
Longest running and #1 show, but I can't know when my intro is.
Sorry about that.
Just so you know, everyone out there, yeah, there's a reason. Also, by the way, it doesn't matter. I was going to say my screen mirroring is a little bit crooked. We are all asses and elbows this morning because the shooter was just, I guess you would say, announced, confirmed, and we're digging through some things right now. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and we have a guest today, Austin Hunzinger, who was there the day that Charlie Kirk was shot. He was there. He was a few people, I think 10 or so people down the line, and reached out to us exclusively after this week, wanting to tell his story. So we were testing an uplink call. So it's been a week. Please bear with us. We do have a lot to get to. Question for you is, and by the way, we are streaming wide to YouTube right now. Usually Friday is just for Rumble Premium members, just for, Mug Club is Rumble Premium. But this is all so important this week that we want you to know, because YouTube, they want you to think that we don't exist, that you can go watch on Rumble every single day. Guys, get off of this social media ghetto. This YouTube right here is exactly what created the environment for what happened to Charlie Kirk. I hope you understand that. Banning and censoring and marginalizing and removing the voice for over a decade, and I've been here, of more than half the country, the half that elects presidents. That allows the vilification. That allows the othering, as you've been told, from the left. Usually it applies to trans. Usually it applies to insert whatever most useful minority group here. But they have done this to conservatives for a very long time. And they're still doing it. They're still doing it, saying that even though Charlie Kirk held radical views, he did not. He did not. So please get off of YouTube, get to Rumble. And by the way, I don't know if Rumble is actually more downloaded than YouTube in the App Store a couple of days this week. So they're doing really well. They've updated that app. Question for you, how do we move forward? That's the question that I'm getting the most. I know I've answered a couple of times, but I'll try and distill it and answer it a little more simply. Well, Captain Morgan's not here. He's in Chi-Town.
He's in China?
He's hanging out with Yay. I don't know the name anymore.
Chicago.
But he got some dope sneakers. So laying the brain, Ginger Stamp, how are you, sir? You're here because we have a lot of breaking information.
Well, one pale redhead for another pale redhead. It's an easy substitute.
Gerald's not really a redhead, though.
Well, when he had hair, he was a redhead.
Yeah, I guess. Well, he came to play.
Sorry.
Friday, Saturday. No, don't be sorry. That's what we do. See what you can find on Josh that hurts, that makes it sting, and throw one right down center plate. Friday, Saturday, September 26th, 27th, and me too at Cap City Comedy Club in Austin, Texas. Hey guys, you know what? Get out to live comedy shows. Get out, show like after 9/11. Remember there was that campaign to get everyone out and to show everyone that you're not. Make sure that people know you're not afraid. And live comedy is a great way to do it in a really pretty safe environment. Josh Firestine.
My show will be nothing like 9/11.
It was.
But there might be some bombing.
It won't be the 9/11 of comedy
but
shows.
It was planes.
It won't be the Lincoln Park of comedy shows.
No, it won't. It's more like a McVeigh situation.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right.
I'm nervous.
Here's the thing I will show you. I will tell you guys. The left is violent. It's not even close. There is such a thing as right-wing violence. We have not seen it in this country for a very long time. And we're praying and hoping that it does not come. But when it does rear its ugly head, it tends to be vicious. And it tends to be something from people who are long-suffering, and then people end up having enough. And if you were to craft a playbook on how to get people in this country fed up, it would be after someone being brutally, senselessly murdered in a terrorist act, still placing the blame kind of on him and still doing things the same way. Yeah, sure, people can say this wasn't, well, it shouldn't have happened, and we're sad, there shouldn't be political violence, but if they keep censoring, if they keep marginalizing, if they keep referring to you as radical, if they keep vilifying you as Nazi, Hitler, racist, homophobe, that means that they want the same thing to happen to you, and people are fed up. This is a really dangerous spot. I get it. So, first up this morning, Fox and Friends. It was announced, President Trump, that they were pretty confident, and now they're talking about on CNN, they have the mugshot that they caught the shooter, by the way, identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson from Utah. Here is President Trump. Levity is fine. I love how he starts off with, I'm not supposed to say much, but maybe a family member, maybe a minister, maybe a guy named Jonathan came forward and said, hey, I know this guy. I live at 5481 8th Street. So he gets increasingly specific. I appreciate it. And I'd like to know more. Let's go.
Any updates on the suspect?
Yeah. Can I always say, I think, just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued, and we all don't get sued, and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody. Okay? I don't want to go too far. I'd like to tell you some stories at how it happened, but essentially somebody that was very close to him turned him in. And that happens when you had some of those good shots. Somebody is going to say, whether it's a parent or whatever, I'd rather not say right now. They're going to announce it today, sometime later, probably talk about that. Somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father, went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way. And the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister. And brought him to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but I'm just giving you, based on what I'm hearing, they'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in, as I'm walking in.
Yeah, and again, like we said earlier, the person identified as Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old Utah local. There's not a whole lot that we know right now. Bringing up CNN, they are showing the mugshot, so you guys can see. That's something that we pulled earlier. Now, obviously, that's been confirmed. All we really know that we can confirm is there was a Discord, right, Laying the Brain, that he was a part, that he had been radicalized recently. Right. As far as anti-fascist, but there's a lot of misinformation out there.
We do have a clip of I don't know which official confirmed that he had been politically radicalized. I think it's down a couple if we want to go.
Okay. We'll get to that because I'm kind of going in order here. This is something I want you guys to know. This is the fog of war. People say that rhetoric's irresponsible. I'm okay with it. in the fog of war, right to, and obviously Josh knows this better than I do, but I'm talking about this ideological war here. Information gets out there, and there's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of misdirection, and there are a lot of false accusations. And we take that pretty seriously here, especially when people's lives are on the line. A life was taken, and lives are still on the line. And I've seen, since we broadcast yesterday, a chorus of people who've come out, people like Tim Pool, many different hosts, commentators, talking about the security they've had to have, the threats that they've had to deal with, the conversations with authorities, all the time. And people coming from, yeah, we live on the right under this threat all the time. And that is by design. And it doesn't always have to get to Nazi. They can just accuse you of being a liar, of being dishonest, of being a purveyor of fake news. And if the left media is successful in doing that, well, then you have people who think that you're doing damage. They have people who think that you're harmful, and that justifies acts of violence. We saw that with Charlie Kirk. And we went through that yesterday. Yesterday, we showed you an internal memo, right, that was circulating at the DOJ, was an exclusive leak. You can bring up that overlay. It was about the bullet engravings. We have protected our source. We confirmed it. We double, triple checked. Jay in Mug Club Undercover. The best I know to ever do it. And of course, just spoiler alert, we were correct. You guys will see this in the presser. But that didn't change the fact that yesterday, all kinds of outlets, and of course, major leftist accounts, accused us of making it up, accused us of lying, and this just sort of encapsulates it best.
Steven Crowder this morning released an exclusive. This morning, my team received an email from an officer at the ATF. The email included a screenshot from what appears to be an internal message describing a weapon and cartridges located by an ATF and other law enforcement near the scene of the Charlie Kirk shooting at Utah Valley State University. And all cartridges have engraved wording on them expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. And what's crazy about it isn't the fact that Steven Crowder actually released this information, right? Of course, he's going to go with unverified, unconfirmed reports. What's actually completely unacceptable is the fact that Wall Street Journal also ran along with this report. And the report is filled to the brim with spectacular misinformation. Like, they were saying that the bullets were engraved with anti-fascist and pro-trans messaging. Like, how are you engraving the bullets? What the does that even mean? But this kind of misinformation goes crazy.
Hold on to your butts.
This is a deliberate piece of misinformation? Or do I think this was a misunderstanding that obviously got elevated by a charlatan such as Steven Crowder? The point is, it doesn't matter. Because this is a spectacular up. The New York Times had a follow-up on this and basically said the senior law enforcement official with direct knowledge of the investigation cautioned that report had not been verified by the ATF analyst, did not match other summaries. Of
course it didn't. That's why the source came to us. They were concerned that they might lie
or misinterpreted. In fast-moving investigations, such status reports are not made public because they often contain a mixture of accurate and inaccurate information. Revealing this information on an unsubstantiated internal report is not doing journalism. It's actually doing the opposite of journalism, which CNN also did. But they said cultural phrases, which a lot of people are mad about as well, because they think that CNN is hiding the truth. This is the type of shit you expect from Steven Crowder. It's not the type of shit you expect from CNN.
Okay, so charlatan, and by the way, it's fine. I mean, I know that he's relatively inconsequential. We're just, because he cited the New York Times as well. So if we release a memo and it turns out to be correct, and you have people out there saying, this is incorrect, he's a charlatan, I know this for a fact, who is the liar, who is the charlatan? There can only be one. Well, we now know the memo that we released with tremendous confidence was absolutely correct. Clip casing.
Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark?" Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
This isn't a small thing. The cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk was terrorism. Full stop. The silencing of journalists and intimidation of people reporting the truth is a soft form of terrorism. You know the reason the source came to us? First off, because they trust us. And because they were concerned of exactly what purveyors of fake news like Hassan and New York Times, what they would do, which is exactly what they did. They were concerned that it might get buried. They were concerned that unless someone forced the hand, it might end up like Nashville, until our investigative unit told you the truth. They were concerned that there are people potentially with ulterior motives who may not tell you the truth. And so when someone comes out with zero information, by the way, don't you love how they always simply take the word of the authorities? They have a senior law enforcement official, okay? And we have someone. Why is yours more authoritative? Oh, that's right. The intent is always to silence whistleblowers, unless it's Assange. It's to silence people telling the truth. That's a soft form of terrorism. And let me tell you something. New York Times and his name is Hassan.
Yeah.
You owe the public a retraction and an apology. Also, you know what? Let me just, I'm going to point to Blaine the brain here and Jay in the investigative unit. They have done unbelievable work. Do you realize that the record, our scorecard on investigative pieces, is 6-0. 6-0. Every time we have told you and we have staked our reputation on it, we have put it on the line. We have told you the truth. And every single time you have been told that our people are lying. Every single time you have been told that it's fake news. Now take that and multiply it by thousands of the ones that we don't catch. What people like this want is for this unit here to lose credibility so that sources, so that truth tellers are afraid to blow the whistle because they don't feel like there's someone out there who can protect them. And they want you to misbelieve the truth that we're telling you so that they have a monopoly on what it is that you believe. Even yesterday, I will tell you, this is not me taking credit, the people here. It is a different culture here. And especially, you know, I think that Charlie deserves this level of accuracy of work. We here did not report, as many other did, fake news, that the shooter was this older man. You remember that? We didn't say that. We did not tell you that it was Sky Valdez. Remember that? That was something that was circulating. We did not tell you that it was a guy named Omar. A lot of people circulated that. We did not tell you that it was this person named DJ. We did not tell you. And by the way, that DJ is often used as a troll after shooting. Some of these were reported in mainstream outlets. We didn't tell you that, and we didn't tell you that it was Israel either. We did tell you that we had an exclusive source, and with tremendous confidence, we knew for a fact that there was evidence on the bullet engravings that this person had been radicalized. And we told you that when there was a lack of information. And the people who are tasked with telling you the truth lied to you and said it's false. Why? Because Steven Crowder. Well, it's not just me. It's everyone here who put in that work, who cares enough to try and change the landscape of media right now. You understand that? It's changing the landscape. 6-0. 6-0. So anyone else out there who has a tip, something else, no sources have been revealed unless they so chose later on. We protect them with our lives. We will go to jail. You know, like all the movies make journalists out to be, only it's largely a comedy show. Aaron Brockovich, bitch did something with tap water. I don't remember. You guys talk about that? You guys make, how about this? You realize that these people are risking life and limb because you've seen that. Don't forget this. They did the same thing to Andrew Breitbart. 6-0. And we never got the shooter information wrong. Would have been easy to be first, but we know that it wouldn't be right. Can the same be said of these other outlets? And it all happens because of your support. We very much appreciate it. Consider joining. Click that button. None of this happens without you. You can gift a subscription. Guys, let's open that up. If not, we ask that you allow us to continue earning your support. We don't have donors, no money from Qatar, no money from the Jews, no giant nonprofit, no corporate umbrella. I own 100% of what you see, and we really are a tightly knit team here. And everyone here does great work. So please send them your love. Jay, Lane the Brain, George the Greek, everyone here. Josh, Gerald. Everyone. So let's get to what we do know. A family member told investigators that Robinson had become politically radicalized, as we were discussing, but confirmed in recent years.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
Yeah. Now just soften it a little bit right now, right? The left goes, oh, let's just, for a little while, let's just not say the hate and Nazi thing. Let's just say Charlie Kirk, who held radical views. Hey, here's the thing, too. I know if Charlie was here, you know what he would say? Like what? Like what?
What makes it radical?
Yeah.
Is it the fringe?
Yeah.
It's not the fringe that was following Charlie Kirk.
Right. Yeah.
There's one thing the news media that the left is going to try to do here, and it is pin him as coming from a Republican family, because his parents are registered Republicans. They're a nice upper middle class family, seem to be, by all accounts, very well off.
Yeah.
And we looked through the mother's Facebook. It seems like a pretty traditional kind of family structure. Would there not be other times in history when a son has rebelled against the family?
Yeah.
So let's just kind of cut that narrative off before it starts.
Well, if that wasn't the norm, Hot Topic wouldn't exist. Screw you, Mom. I'm going to have all the chains in my pants.
I don't care if you say I can't have a studded belt. I'm going to get one anyway.
I'm going to sound like Jacob Marley coming down the stairs, you stupid bitch. Now.
That's a crazy reference.
Yeah, that was pretty specific. It sounded personal.
And I don't remember, it's Jacob Marley, right? The Muppets, because there's two of them. So I forget which one was the real.
In the high school play of A Christmas Carol, and all the senior girls laughed at me.
Really?
So, yeah, I didn't sing very well.
No, you didn't? Nope. You didn't give a great Scrooge. Other info too, yeah, Republican family. The shooter, this was confirmed, tried to coordinate recovery of the rifle used on Discord messages.
The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel.
Yeah. So this one seems to be pretty clear. And by the way, one last thing we're going to bring on our guest, the engravings on the casings, that's not clickbait, that's relevant. That is relevant because the shooter was still out there at that time. And a lot of you were on the menu. Wouldn't it be nice to have a motive and ideology to go along with the terrorist at large? Just think of how irresponsible it is for Hassan and New York and these places say, no, that's not legitimate, to try and sow doubt when they have no evidence themselves. You don't hate the media and the left enough. You lived in real time yesterday why they're violent. There are kids growing up who think, man, their crowd lies about everything. They don't realize that it's 6-0, always correct. There were people going, man, Charlie Kirk wants to erase, wants to genocide all trans. They believe it because the media says it nonstop, and that's by design. Do you think they for a second don't know that it's not true? And do you think for a second that they don't know it's dangerous to tell you that? You think the most trusted names in news don't at some point go, wait, gee golly, maybe we shouldn't tell people out there that this guy wants to commit genocide and he's a Nazi? Of course they do. They do it anyway. Just like yesterday when we provided you with information that could help keep you safe, their primary focus was to tell you that everyone here is a liar. Everyone here deserves an apology and a retraction. but I bet we won't get it. And for the same reason, the trust and credibility that everyone here has built up, and again, this is a team effort I cannot take credit for. Lane the Brain, you were reached out. Someone reached out through the line, tip line, to be on the show. This is Austin Hunsinger.
Yes.
And he was there that day.
Yeah, he was 10 or so people back in line getting ready to ask Charlie a question.
That's right. And he had gone at one point to Utah Valley, and he was a UVU student and Army veteran. He's a coach, I understand?
Yeah, he's a middle school football coach.
Middle school football coach. And please tell me we have him here.
Yep.
And guys, thank you, everyone out there. This is I'm going to try and give this man the floor because I can imagine he's still processing a lot of information, and I want to do right by him. We're all dealing with this in real time. This all happens because of your support. Let's bring on Austin Hunsinger. Austin, how are you, sir? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can see, I can hear. Stephen, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you for reaching out. And for people who don't know, I want to make sure that I give you the floor and not cut you off. Tell people your story, your background a little bit, and where you were that day.
So just a little about me. I grew up in upstate New York. I joined the military, the Army, as an artilleryman when I was 19. Spent 7.5 years doing that at Fort Bragg and then also Fort Drum. I deployed to Afghanistan in 2011. Now I'm balancing starting my own company, back and forth to school. I just recently took a semester off from a political science degree at UVU. Imagine, if you will, the American education system kind of ruined that for me, and understanding what political science really is from that standpoint.
As it has everybody, yes.
Yeah, I thought I was getting into something great, and then all of a sudden I get in there and I'm like, what are we doing as a country? Why is this normal? But needless to say, then as I came to Utah 2 years ago, I firmly believe that God put a coaching opportunity in my lap. I am LDS. I've always wanted to coach football, and let me tell you, it's one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. I'm actually skipping out on practice though right now to be here. Which
I know, and I appreciate it. I hate it. I hate to pull you from it. I'm really grateful to have you here.
What I have to say is more important right now. And if there's anything I want to portray to those boys, is that people speak their mind and not be afraid of what happens to you if you do. Sorry.
No, man.
Anyway,
don't apologize.
I was pretty excited for Charlie Kirk to come to UVU. I've watched him for years, and that's not to say that I've agreed with every single thing that he says. It's a prove me wrong platform. I wasn't there to say, yeah, man, we're totally cool. Let's talk about this thing that we agree on. That's not what Charlie represented. He wanted to bring people's ideas that challenged him, right? And so I got there about 2 hours early to get to the front of the line because I wanted an opportunity to ask my question, because it's one of the things that I disagree with him about. And, I see a lot of people talking about, like you mentioned on the left, it's all, Charlie Kirk's a bigot, he's hateful, he's radical. But then on the right side, you have, it's an inside job, it's this political assassination set up by this, that, and the third, right. Deep state this. And I see all of this stuff, and it completely misses the mark of what was happening and what's important about what took place at UVU. Right. When I was standing in line, everyone around each other in the line, we were asking it, well, what's your question? What are you going to talk to him about? And we would discuss it. Right. There was a kid in front of me who had a take on immigration that I don't agree with whatsoever. And his friend with similar values was trying to role play for Charlie so that he wouldn't be nervous when he got up there. Because we see countless times, kids get up there and they're shaky and they don't have their thoughts together. And I thought to myself, let me step in here and say, listen, I don't agree with you on this. I'm not going to discuss that part of it with you. What I want to do is make sure you're not nervous so you don't feel like a fool when you go up to talk to Charlie. I agree with Charlie on this particular issue. Let me be the guy. And I'm a big dude. This kid is a lot smaller than me, so in more ways than one. It presents an opportunity to give him an opportunity to be nervous, get over those nerves, and go ask Charlie something that he disagrees with him on. And so to me, in that moment, I thought to myself, how great is this? That we can, even before we get to the mic, even before we get to Charlie, we can sit here and calmly talk about issues that we're going to bring up, disagree with each other. There were no fights. There were no screaming, no hollering. There were two girls behind me that took a stance on abortion that I don't agree with, period. Mm-hmm. And they were saying expletives about Charlie and this, that, and the third. They were pretty far left, and I understood that. So instead of discussing with them their issue, we talked about stupid stuff like, if you had celebrity parents, who would you want them to be? Because they're obviously very pop culture college student girls, right? So I found common ground with them, even though it wasn't political. And nobody is talking about how that's the platform that Charlie Kirk at his events provided even before anybody got to the mic. And this dude, I don't even want to say his name, because I think the biggest issue that we have as a media is putting these people out there because in their unintelligent, crazy minds, they want that attention. Now they're famous. Now they're this person that they always wanted to be. So I'm not even going to say his name. But this shooter took that away from us. He took people who were leftists, right? Who were on the right, but who disagreed with me. They took the ability for them to talk to me and have the opportunity to convince me of their standpoint.
Yeah.
Right? But you completely remove the freedom of speech that you say you value so much when you do something like that.
Yeah. And I will tell you, the same thing with Change My Mind was that's what it was. And with the faculty,